Hey, I'm Steven. I make fonts and do type design and development as Aerotype on the internet. I also really like things like metal logos and I like drawing. So today I'm going to be trying to make a metal logo for my company name, Aerotype, using Photoshop. This is kind of using some techniques that I learned from the YouTube channel Spearhead. Um, I'll link to them in the description. He makes really cool stuff, and it's a really fun looking process. So I actually did try it before without recording it and came up with this, um, but I don't love it yet. It's not quite as symmetrical as I want it to be for this kind of a metal logo. It also, yeah, I think the single biggest problem is that the RRO is like this weird trio that's like clearly not at all symmetrical here. And I think I can do better than that. I've kind of sketched around a little bit, and yeah, I think I can do better. So I'm going to try to record this process and see where we can get. And the other thing I have is this sketch. So I did this sketch actually on the subway, on the train, and I started with pencil and I tried to keep it roughly symmetrical, and then kind of do this sort of gritty line work with a pen. Actually, pretty fun because on the subway, one of the main issues of drawing is that the train shakes as it's moving. But that actually kind of is handy if you're trying to make really disgusting outlines like this. So, kind of fun. But I think I can probably do better in Photoshop, or I hope so. I'm actually drawing on one of those cool tablets that you can draw on that's also a display. So that's kind of fun. So I don't know how much I'll use my webcam throughout this video. I'm selecting the brush tool, and there's this really neat symmetry thing that you can do. So you can set it out, and then I'm going to hold Option here to cover the whole space basically that I want to cover. And that's looking pretty good. So at first, I think I'm just going to be kind of sketchy and not try to do all of this, super detailed stuff just yet. Symmetry off, please. Okay, now we can draw individually. So I'm going to fill in a few gaps that like um, things that I don't actually want to be entirely symmetrical. And that includes this actually. I think I like the overall structure of this quite a bit. So then the next stage is actually pretty interesting. It involves basically just using the lasso tool. Maybe I will also fade this out a little bit so it's not so prominent. And that way I can tell what I'm doing better. Okay. Just gonna get started. And I'm pretty much just squiggling my hand a lot. And then since I have these default colors, white and black selected, I can hit Option and then backspace, and then it fills it in with that color. So that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to keep on going on that. And I'm just wobbling around. Seems like a quick way to get like a RSI or something, but yeah, that's looking pretty fun. So then let me see. How do I flip this? Probably just Command J. Did that work? And then V. Nope. Yeah, cool. Is this it? Hey! All right, and then I'm just going to kind of move this into place, and I guess it's telling me that that is symmetrical right there, right? And what's the best way to do this? Probably I'm going to just lob this off right here, and then go ahead and do some more of these squiggles. So we can copy that. Oops. No, thank you. And then flip that. Where was it? Transform path, flip horizontal. Yes, please. V, please. There we go. Nice. This is already looking kind of cool. Merge layers, please. And yeah. How's that looking? Pretty fun. Hard to judge for sure for now, but I think it's on a good track. You know, I could probably still put a little zigzag up here, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to bring that one back. All right, let's draw type. Well, final-ish. Okay, that's pretty solid though. Let's go back here. I'm going to ramp it up again and get back to my brush. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much all we need to do for the P and E. Okay, so now that we've got our full word here, I am sort of wondering actually if there needs to be something more like spiky here or something. Like, I'm unsure about the bottom shape of this, but I don't know. We'll figure that out in a minute, I think. Yeah, I feel like that's looking kind of neat. I am going to add to my canvas here because I feel like it's too close to the edges to tell what's really going on. So canvas size, let's make it taller. I'm liking it. Okay. I'm probably going to do a copy here just to keep some sort of a version history of some sort. I'd probably better reflect some of these things before I get totally lost. Command J on our entire layer. And then I'll just use this layer. Okay. And then go. That's enough contrast for me to tell what I should copy up, I think. So let's just do that. And then, yeah, that worked pretty well. Sweet. Okay. Yes, please. Nice. Let's ditch this. Yeah, this is pretty much a more spiky version of the logo I am going to move to. Okay, let's see how this looks in context. I think I have to make it even more spiky to fit in with this logo. So let's do that. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty fun. Looking pretty cool. It might be too low resolution to actually work well there, but I don't know. It's something fun. And yeah, let's just try to go slightly further with it with like some basic shading. That's fun. Like hints at some sort of dimensionality, I think, without being like overboard. And it kind of, yeah, I feel like that kind of brings it into line a little better with the rest of the logo. I don't know. It's something. It's coming. It's an exploration. So yeah, I like it. I think it's possible I'll do more later, but I don't know. That's pretty much what I wanted to try today. Maybe I should still make it drip a little bit better here. Like elongate these essentially. Let me try that one last thing. Yeah, I will probably keep fussing with this because honestly, it's just pretty much fun. It is, I don't know. I feel like I have so much power now that I know of these little tips of how to draw a metal logo, which is, use the symmetry brush in Photoshop, symmetry brush option in Photoshop, and then this squiggly lasso tool, and like Command Delete or Option Delete, and then some like layer duplication and flipping and stuff. And yeah, it's just like quite fun and easy to draw a pretty good or like, I don't know, convincing sort of metal logo here, which is very fun. Okay, and then after actually getting it on like exporting a PNG and sharing it to my phone and looking at it in that different context. As often happens, I kind of realized a bunch of things I wanted to change. So I, for instance, looked at it and like drew a little critique layer, I called it, where I just took a red brush and quickly sort of, let me boost this up here, colored in a bunch of places where I thought could use little refinements. And I also kind of transformed this area to be kind of smaller so I could put the logo more centered in the composition. It's still a little above center, but not so far above now. So I think this hierarchy is overall working better. The funny thing is I could just keep going and going and going on this. It's a pretty fun process, but I don't 100% know what I'm going to use it for yet. So I don't know. I'm going to wait until I have a more solid idea of what I actually want to use this for, if it's anything beyond just an Instagram post and a YouTube video. And then I might put in more time to really kind of perfect it, as much as that makes sense anyway, for a death metal logo. Yeah, like I kind of want to make shirts maybe someday, perhaps, of something like this. But I have a lot of things that I need to do first, like, yeah, finishing Name Sans and updating my website. But, you know, maybe in the summer or fall, I could make this. I don't know. Yeah, I could almost, I'll actually show real quick the progression of exports here, and that kind of maybe will show a little bit of a story of this. So let's see. This was the last time. And that looked quite naive now, actually, compared to where I've taken it, I think. So this was a little earlier. And then you can kind of see, like, I added some central swirls to kind of integrate the logo better and played around with those a little bit. I tried this fun, like, kind of outline approach, which is kind of a fun way to mix it up. But ultimately, I think this is probably a little better. Yeah, and just kind of played around. There's the big jump, sort of trying to go from this being quite above center to a little more squished. And I tried to correct most of the contrast issues that occurred from that. I don't know. I think I mostly got it. But yeah, there's an example of where I might say clean it up further, you know, on subsequent passes. But yeah, I like it. And that was fun.